All right, welcome back to another podcast, another episode of the A&T Pod. I'm Aiden,
I'm Tavius.
and we're gonna kind of talk about some news that we heard earlier today. What happened kind of today? Then we're gonna go into NHL. Got some exciting news from my side, and then talk a brief about MLB. Hop into NFL news and our picks for Sunday, and then we'll get into our underdogs and our top 25 picks and games of interest. So, Tavius, start us off with some of the news that we got today.
So, as y'all know, we're a sports podcast. We hit all the sports here. Starting off, you guys probably wouldn't expect it, but your boy played tennis back in the day. So I'm a big tennis fan. Fun fact, my favorite tennis player of all time is Rafael Nadal. He's, I think in November, he's hanging up the cleats after, not cleats, it's funny. Uh, he's hanging up the tennis shoes and putting the rackets away. And playing one more tournament in November. He's going to be sad. One all-time GOATs. Uh, Hefty lefty. Inspirational Spanish player. King of clay. He'll be missed. But, excited for this newer generation of tennis players. Now that, the big three is almost gone. Big four, however you want to split it. We're almost all done. So this is one of the greatest eras in tennis. And, what you call it. Nadal retiring. Stings a little bit. We'll get through it.
Yeah. Then some other news, not as great of a player, but definitely still a good player, sharpshooter, champion. Danny Green retired, I believe, after 15 seasons. So a good long career for him. Kind of glad that he kind of retired, just because I don't think that he was putting out the output that he had at a younger age. But yeah, hopefully he sticks with basketball. I'm sure he'll probably hop on team's coaching staff or coach somewhere, which is awesome, because if he can help people with shooting, that'd be pretty cool too. So that's about it. But we'll go right into NHL. Let's see here. Got some exciting news. I did some thinking about what team I should support. And I know I said Blackhawks because, close to home, went to college in Chicago. Just kind of there. But then I was thinking, there's a new team that just is making their franchise debut. So why not just rock with them? So I'm going with Utah. Whatever anybody says, this has nothing to do with Utah beating the Blackhawks as the first game.
I don't know, Aiden. Some people might be like, hey, you already jumping ship.
That's fine. But I'm going to go with Utah. I'm going to go with the Utah Hockey Club. Um, and we'll just pick up from there. And, yeah, I can follow them, and they are my team now, and I will start calling them we, because I am that kind of fan.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so we play again today at 7:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Central Time. And Tavius, how's your team doing?
Well, for all my hockey fans out there, you saw my Canadians beat I like to call them the Syrups, with the Maple Leafs. Yeah, we scored one goal. Shout out Goal Caulfield. New number this year. Went from 22, now it's 13. For all my OG Canadians fans out there, that used to be like Michael Cammarelli, a vintage number. So excited to see him wear that number this year. He scored, and that's all we needed, because Sam Montembeault, as they say, stood on his head and saved 46, 47 shots last night and a shutout. Start the year off strong. And I know tonight we got the Bruins, as y'all see on the screen. Bruins, fun fact, I hate. Some might say I almost hate them as much as I hate the Falcons, but I don't. They're second though. In general, Bruins fans unruly. The commentators in the Bruins cast, they stink. Get them out of here. Bitter rivals. Um, so I hope we beat them all. Not beat them off. Holy pause. We beat them up tonight. um, and that's crazy. Uh, we physically beat them up and beat them tonight. Just beat them all season. But that's how I feel about the Bruins.
Cool. So, yeah, we'll see how our teams do tonight. We're taking on the Islanders, so I don't know. We'll
Just
see
calling out
if
here, coach. Utah's not beating the Islanders. Putting it out there.
I believe. I'm gonna have to get myself a sweater. I'm gonna be a real fan.
There we go.
But all right, now we can let's talk about a little MLB. Why don't we? Got a couple big games tonight. One's happening right now. 2 elimination games could be. Got the Guardians up 1-0 against the Tigers. I'm rooting for the Tigers to win. I picked them. Tavius, you got the Guardians, but
Oh,
we are already
looks like
down.
they-
What?
I was about to say, it looks like Tigers about to put some runs on the board. Bases loaded, no outs.
We'll see.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, it's quite interesting seeing how not the Tigers are operating. They're starting one starter, and just throwing bullpen games. Quite interesting method, to say the least, but it's working so far. And Tigers out of nowhere making a playoff run. I hope my Guardians come back in the series, but it's hard when you run into hot teams, man. So we'll see how tonight goes.
That's why I picked them to advance. So hopefully they can pull it out. Um, and then later on today, are the Yankees going to pull out the win and move on to the next round over the Royals? You're hoping that they don't. I'm hoping that they do. Like I was mentioning before, we are already down 1 game. We both picked the Phillies. The Mets came out and beat them. So already at 0-1. But it'll be it's a playoff baseball, man.
Yeah. Mets are playing some inspiring baseball. Francisco Lindor, I know Otani, 50 home runs, 50 steals. Francisco Lindor should win MVP. He is putting the team on his back.
See how
And
long you
shout
can
out to
carry him.
Philly. Yeah, shout out to Phillies for being another great regular season just to lose in the first round. I know my team lost in the first round, but we didn't have a good regular season. They over here winning 90-plus games, losing the first round. What, 2-3 years in a row since they lost to us in the World Series? Like, a little bit underwhelming. They got to figure stuff out.
Yep.
That's all I got to say.
And then tomorrow's Padres Dodgers. Wanting the Dodgers to pull it out, get the win. Game 5. First game 5 of the
Yep.
the
Winner go
postseason.
home.
So we'll see.
Hey,
We'll
Padres
see.
are going to get it. I can just feel it. You Darvish is going to deal.
Got the Dodgers pulling it out, of course. But all right. That's all for those 2 segments. Now on to NFL news. Well, this isn't just NFL news. This is just football news right now. But
Mm-hmm.
we're going through a celebration phase right now with weapons. Um, a lot of people are choosing to shoot people with imaginary guns, and it all started at the beginning of the year. The first one that I saw was from LSU, but ever since then it's kind of just, I'm not
We
blaming
never
LSU at all.
we
I'm
never
not.
shot at people, but we were
No.
definitely putting them guns out there for sure.
Yeah, but I think at what point is it too much, or is it already too much? Right.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, um, I think it's troubling and something that coaches need to put a stop to, um, especially in not trying to make it a race thing that I will. Um, there's a lot of African Americans in the sport. Leading cause and deaths after heart disease is gun violence. So when we start shooting other people or as a celebration and saying that we got guns on it, like there's no place in that for football. Coaches need to do a better job disciplining that. You got to do better. You got to do right by these kids. Even in the league too. Uh, these athletes are role models, and whether they like it or not, if you do that on national TV, people are going to see it. Kids are going to think it's cool and start doing it. We saw how popular the gritty got. We start doing these celebrations and make people look cool. Like it's only going to escalate, and that's not the image we want to represent. So I'm glad the refs started flagging for it, but we need to start as coaches and all that. They need to do a better job of disciplining players. I feel like so.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I don't think that there's a place for it in football, if that's high school, college, or NFL. And you mentioned one of the main points for me is that with football being so popular and like getting more popular, college kids, if they like it or not, are going to see these high school kids looking up to them, looking at um, even like younger kids just looking up to them. And then once it gets into the NFL, like everybody, like college football and NFL football are nationally televised and everybody's watching them. They make big deals about them and everybody just wants to see them. Um, but yeah, I just think there's no place for it. I mean, with the South Carolina Ole Miss game, whenever the dude got the sack and acting like he's shooting the quarterback on the ground, like that's just with it being such a big deal in the United States as of right now, and like you said, it's the second leading cause of death. Like, why bring that into something that's kind of like a sport is supposed to take you away from all that stuff, right? It's supposed to kind of just let you relax and just watch the game for the game. Like that, there's no place for it in my eyes. And people can say, "Oh, let the kids have fun," but at the same time, like if my kid's doing that, I'm worried because like there's just not. I don't want to see that. And whenever I first saw something like that with it was the DBs like pulling up their shirts and I'm like that doesn't mean anything. Like the seatbelt I get because you're locking them up. Like that's just that makes sense. But like just because you're strapped, I mean to me it just doesn't make sense. Like I don't know. But I agree. Like I said and like you said, like I just don't think that there's a place for it in football. There's so many eyes watching them, and it's just
Hmm.
not. It's not like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm also glad that the refs are cracking down on it and calling flags on it, and I think it needs to continue to do that. I think the rules apply if it's an unsportsmanlike conduct. I think it's still if you get two, you're kicked out or like
Hmm.
you're out for like a quarter or something like that. So I hope that stays because again, like I don't know, I don't know, just keep it out. Like you can do so many other different things that doesn't involve that. But yeah, now it's starting to get sticky too with like the NFL and like the first down signals and stuff, and just because they're pointing that way with two hands, like not necessarily meaning it for it to be a gun or a weapon. At this point, like the refs are going to still call it just because it looks like it, you know. So,
Hmm.
which is fine, but there just needs to be an adjustment, and there needs to be some sort of discipline of, hey, let's not. Um, let's try to do something else. But yeah, and then I know you brought this up before we hopped on, but the kids with the belts going through, I think it's like high school, and it's you're going through the
Pop
line and
Warner.
Pop Warner. I've seen a couple high schoolers do it too, but like you're going through the line of like the good game or whatever, and they're acting like they're hitting them on the behind with a belt. One, how did they get a belt? No idea. Don't know. I would never give a player my belt regardless. So I don't know why they had one. And two, I just like I don't know. There's a line, right? Like to be sportsmanlike, non-sportsmanlike. Who cares if you smack the team by whatever? Like, but doing that, I don't know. It's just they're starting to get some extra stuff that just to me doesn't belong in football. Like you can just be that kind of a person outside of football and you can talk smack, whatever. But whenever it's starting to be like, not that you're actually doing it, but like you're acting like you're doing it, like I don't know. I don't agree with it.
Coaches need to do better all across the board.
Yeah, but I don't know. And then I mean, I don't care. You could say that I'm soft or whatever, but I mean, I look at it and whenever I played, I've been on both ends. I've been on beating a team by a lot, and I've also been on the other end where I've gotten beat by a lot, and it's neither one of them is obviously more fun than the other. But I mean, at that point, if you have the other team coming up to you and you're doing that kind of stuff, like you're just looking for trouble. Somebody's is going to rub somebody the wrong way, and that's just how things are going to escalate, and it's not going to look good for either teams, either schools, either programs, either whatever. So I don't know. I miss the days where we were talking about like Ezekiel Elliott hopping into the Salvation Army bucket and like is that thing. Like that stuff is like harmless stuff, right? He was playing hide and seek or whatever, or like signing a football or acting like he's got a cell phone and like I don't know. Terrell Owens putting the popcorn in his face or like like that was like that's fun, that's entertaining, but whenever it's starting to get into like this kind of stuff, I don't know, there's a difference and to me there's no place for it in sports. But
Yeah. There's lines. There's some things you can and can't do. Plain and simple.
yeah. But with all that being said, we can hop right into NFL. Got a matchup tonight. Got the 49ers and Seahawks both coming off of a loss. Seahawks coming off of that blocked field goal to return for a touchdown, and then the 49ers coming off of a loss against the Cardinals. Tough game. Throwing an interception at the end, sealing the deal for the Cardinals. Got a good slate of NFL teams and a good slate of college football games. So excited for this weekend on top of playoff baseball with elimination games, NHL starting, and then preseason basketball, which we'll get into that later on throughout the podcast, throughout the weeks. But yeah, like I mentioned Tuesday, we got a lot of sports are back, and we're in full swing of everything. So let's go to some NFL. Why don't we?
Yeah. And not to mention, we'll be at the Illinois Purdue game. So, if y'all watch this podcast down there in Champaign, say what's up to your boys. Um, starting off with the NFL, we got a game tonight: 49ers Seahawks. Amazon Prime Video. It's going to be a tough one to live up to after such a great game last week. 49ers are favored by 4 points. Who you got, Aiden? They're on the road, Lumen Field.
I got the Niners. I think I don't know. The Giants walked in there last week and beat them. And I think that the Niners are a better team than the Giants, even though they have their record's 2-3. But yeah, give me the Niners.
We're already going to start off on opposite ends like last week. Give me the Seahawks. Both teams are coming off tough losses. Games they should have won, but didn't. San Fran's favored on the road, even though Seahawks have a better record. Seahawks have played a rough couple weeks, to be honest. So have the Niners. Both teams are needing a win. Give me the home team in this situation. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Niners are missing CMC a little bit more than they hoped, but offense. I can see San Fran coming out hot again. Then in the second half, Seahawks come back to take this one.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see though. I wasn't in. Not that I wasn't impressed by the Seahawks last week, but I haven't been impressed with the 49ers either. Um, I also just want to see the 49ers defense and offense kind of put a full game together, and hopefully this game isn't delayed like the Dallas and Pittsburgh game was. I know it's different days, but still, I want to at least watch some of this game. I don't want I don't want to have to go to bed for work in the morning, but uh, yeah, I do think it is a good matchup. I think both teams are looking to bounce back and fight for something. So we will see. Jaguars Bears. Jaguars coming off of that good win last week, and this is in London. Um, so neutral site. Who do you got?
It's neutral site, but technically home for the Bears. Bears played great Soldier Field. Away from Soldier Field, not so much. Jags have been struggling all year. They finally got the win they needed. Offense looked explosive. Defense gave up a lot of points. I can see this being a shootout. The Bears have a solid defense. Give me the Jags, as much as I hate to do it.
Give me the Bears. Even though they're not in Soldier Field, they are playing as the home team. I mean, you hit it right on the head. They play good in Soldier Field, but whenever they're away, they don't play as good. But that's okay. I know the Jags haven't really been playing that good as a full team. Offense did look explosive last week, but defense was rough. Where I think the Bears have the complete opposite. Their defense is really strong, but their offense is kind of sputtering and not consistent. But I think last week's win got them some confidence, and I think they're going to carry that over to London and beat the Jags. Cardinals, Packers in Lambeau Field. Who you thinking?
Give me Packers. Arizona got a much needed win last week, but this Packers seems playing solid football right now. Even though Jay Love, since he's come back, has been a little shaky. Um, I trust in Green Bay's defense to slow down the Cardinals' offense, and I don't really have faith in the Cardinals' defense, being honest.
Yeah, I agree. Give me the Pack. Yeah, I mean, with Jordan Love coming back, I know it was rocky against. Um, I know that they were down a lot, but to Minnesota, and then they ended up coming back. But I think with him coming back and getting used to playing again with the team, I don't think they'll have a problem. Josh Jacobs over there, the running back, I really like the way that he plays, always have, but I think the Packers are a good team, so I think they take the Cardinals. Colts Titans. At the Titans. Give me the Colts. I gotta check to see if AR is coming back. If not, Flacco has been playing good enough. The defense hasn't been the best. If they can get both of them clicking, I tried telling you. Flacco's favorite target is Downs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Downs just gets open. I mean, he is pretty good. So I like that combination, and I think they're going to go into Tennessee and come out with a win.
Just to be devil's advocate, I'm gonna go Titans mainly because I need Tony Pollard to have a big game. Have him on a couple teams. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's a snooze fest game. Even though Joe Flacco is electric himself, but both teams aren't playing the best football.
Yeah. Moving on, Texans Pats. We got a new quarterback coming in. That's what we forgot to talk about. The new quarterbacks for the
Oh
teams.
yeah, Drake May.
But we can talk about them as we get there.
Yeah.
Uh, we got Drake May. I gotta scroll this down real fast. We got Drake May starting for the Pats, going up against C.J. Stroud and the Texans. I'm going Texans here. I think the starting role for Drake May, it's going to be a little shaky at the start, and then maybe at the end it's going to look better. But I got the Texans on this one.
The smart thing to do is pick the Texans here. Drake May's first start. Patriots might feel reinvigorated. Give me the Patriots. Give me the Patriots. I believe in Drake May. I might be projecting here. Uh, Rookie's first start. We're gonna see another one. We might talk about them next. I don't know. Rookie making their first start at home against a really good team. Team might come out inspired, play a little better than they're supposed to, and sneak out with a dub. So give me the Patriots.
All right, Bucks Saints. I'll let you take this one, big dog.
Uh, let's go ahead. Clap. Give it up to Aiden. I know when we talked Tuesday, he was like, "Oh, it's the Rattler." And I think Spencer Rattler is going to be a great quarterback in this league. No problem. Me wanting Jake Hayner to start is, I prefer experience, but coaching staff early in the week said, hey, he said Tuesday night, maybe after we got over Wednesday morning, hey, we're going with Rattler. Gives us the best chance to win. I think it's smart they did that. Instead of, playing this hide and seek game of who's going to start and keeping it close to the chest, a little gamesmanship. They came out early in the week and said, hey, we're putting this guy in. We believe in him. Gives us the best chance to win. Hayner's great. They've been battling all summer and into the season. We're just going to go with him. And we'll see how it goes. People have been raving about Rattler's live arm. I think we're going to see that this game with how they saw Kirk Cousins attack the Buccaneers passing defense with all the injuries and throwing for 509 with overtime, but without overtime about 440. And I think they see some holes they can exploit, and they're going with the live arm. I think Olave's going to have a big game. I know after that Monday's loss, all gloomy, 3-game losing streak, starting quarterbacks down. And I'm a hopeless Saint fan. I'm always going to find the silver lining. Give me my Saints. Give me my Saints. It's also a must-win game. We have this game Sunday and then another game Thursday, right turnaround against the Broncos, who have been surging lately. We're in a 3-game losing streak. We want to prove that we're a playoff team. We're going to have to start beating some teams. We got to win some football games. Hopefully there's a sense of urgency. And if we lose this game and lose Denver on Thursday, we might as well pack up the season. Can't be just sitting there 2-5, trying to tell people you're a playoff team. No, that's not how that works. So we gotta start winning football games, and no better chance than at home these next couple games, and gotta put it on them at some point. So
Yeah.
hopefully Rattler can instill some confidence in us.
Hopefully, but I don't think so. Give me Tampa Bay. um,
Honestly, a smart pick.
I do like the move with going with Spencer. I think the more that he gets involved, the faster he's going to learn and grow as an NFL quarterback. I do think he has the arm to be a good NFL quarterback. I just don't see him winning his first game as a quarterback for you guys. I wasn't a huge fan of him in college. I thought he was very arrogant and cocky and the whole 9 yards. But
Let's go ahead and put a cap to that. In high school, he was arrogant, cocky. When he got to Oklahoma, he was arrogant and cocky. When he started maturing as he got older, realized, hey, I need to mature. I need to do a little better. I can't just be this guy, this a-hole.
Do you know why he did that?
What?
Do you know why he started maturing?
Probably because he got benched.
Exactly. And the freshman came in. He got booed during the Red River rivalry, and a
Hey,
freshman came in and led his team to a dub.
look,
But before all that happened, couldn't stand the kid.
football's great. It humbles you quickly. And he got humbled. Transferred to South Carolina, showed maturity development. And they said talent wise, he should have been up there in top 3 rounds. But because of the Netflix show, because of all that, those character flaws as an 18, 17-year-old, teams didn't want him. Hopefully, he used
I
that as motivation. Um, but, it, we all mature at some point.
Hey, that's why I said I did. I didn't say I still do. I just said I
I'm
did.
just putting it out there, put the lid on it. That's all.
That's fine. Still cracked a little bit, so I can still continue to talk about it. But I don't know. I do think that, like I said, I think the more game experience that he has in the NFL, the better he'll be. Um, but like I said, he's going up against the Buccaneers, where their defense is strong. First game starting. I think it's going to be kind of just a learning experience. Baker Mayfield's coming off of a pretty strong game last week, so it's going to be hard. But I got Tampa Bay coming out. Broncos Eagles.
You mean Browns, Eagles?
Sorry, yeah, Browns Eagles.
Uh, Give me Eagles. Browns are reeling. Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Eagles are coming off a bye. They got a chance to get healthy. I think AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are going to play. At least AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, if he passes the protocol, will. The Eagles starting to get healthy. They needed that bye week, and we'll see how good of a coach Nick Sirianni is. How this team comes out and plays this week. If they lose to this team, Philadelphia might start a riot.
Yeah. I agree. I got Eagles. Excuse me. Coming off of that bye, I think they'll be good. They'll be rested and ready to rock and roll. Um, like you said, if AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are both coming back, they're going to be full strength. So I don't see the Browns beating them. So give me the Eagles. Now this next game, it's going to be quite interesting. Commanders Ravens at the Ravens.
Baltimore's a 6.5 point favorite.
Yeah,
It's kind of shocking.
it is. But give me the Ravens.
Really.
Give me the Ravens. I think with the game last week, the dogfight that they were in, I don't see them. I see them coming back, and I see them being pretty good, and I don't know that offense. I just don't know how much the Commanders can stop them on defense. So give me the Ravens. I think Lamar's going to look a lot cleaner this week than he did last week. I think Derrick Henry's going to do what he's continued to do, at least the last 2 games. I do think that Jaden Daniels is still going to play good, and they're going to be pretty good on offense. I just think the Ravens defense has more experience and a better defense to stop, or have more stops than the Commanders defense does against Lamar and that high-powered offense too.
I understand your point. You made some good points. I'm gonna go Commanders here. If I was betting man, I'd take the 6.5. Plus 6, I'm taking that all day. It's gonna be a close game. I would go Ravens, but even though on paper their defense is supposed to be really good, they've been struggling this season, especially against the Bengals. Um, they were able to take advantage of the Bengals defense like the Commanders did. Um, but man, their defense they gave up 38 to Burrow on the the Bengals looked in control. Defense didn't give them much fits until the near the end of the game. So I can see that similar situation happening, but this Commanders team's playing with a lot of belief right now. Dan Quinn's got them rumming. Um, if Baltimore's defense is playing better, I'd go Baltimore here. But they're playing poorly. And against a hot team, I'm gonna ride the hot hand. I picked against them last week, but I won't make the same mistake this week. Or I'm gonna make a mistake and go with it. But I believe in Dave Daniels. He puts another win like this together, there's gonna be some real MVP chance.
Yeah,
So we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be a good game to watch, though. Tune in.
it will be. It will be. Moving on, Chargers at the Broncos. Who are you thinking for this one?
Also, a surprising line: Chargers favored by 3 on the road, despite how Denver's been playing. Give me the Broncos. I think they continue their streak. Los Angeles struggling on offense. Their defense has been solid. Um, Broncos is playing some good football right now. I think their defense was, their defense wins in this game, and they fly high into a Sean Payton Saints reunion going into next week. So
Yeah, I can't pick the Broncos because as soon as I pick the Broncos, I'm gonna give them their flowers, and they're gonna lose and be the normal Broncos. So I gotta go Chargers here. Um, I like the Chargers. Justin Herbert, I think, is a good quarterback. I think they're a good team, but I can't give Broncos the flowers yet until I know that they can accept them. I'm tired of giving out flowers and not getting them accepted and getting them thrown back in my face. So give me the Chargers. Next we got the Steelers and the Raiders. Give me the Steelers.
wow, that was quick.
Yeah, I mean, Raiders they're not playing good ball right now. I know that they benched Minshew and are starting Aiden, but I don't think that. I mean, it's pick your poison at that position. I think the Steelers are a better team. I know that Russell Wilson, he had his full practice on, or like yesterday or something. But I don't think that the Steelers need to go away from Justin Fields just yet. I think if they continue to go with Justin Fields, I think they win the game. But I mean, I also think that if Russell Wilson comes in, I think they win the game either way. So give me the Steelers.
I wrote down Raiders, but I think I'm gonna go Steelers.
Yeah.
Even though my logic was Aiden O'Connell's gonna give them hope, but I'm also not that high on Aiden O'Connell. I know some people are. I thought they should have started him at the beginning of the year, but I am not one of those people.
Yeah, I don't see much of a difference whenever Minshew's in or whenever O'Connell's in.
Yeah,
Right. Because O'Connell's been there for years now, and this is the first year that Minshew came in.
I think this is O'Connell's second year.
Okay, 2 years. He's been there for a year before. Last year he didn't play that great. This year, I think he's
He played
fine.
decent, I thought.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you flip Aiden O'Connell and you put, if you flip Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell last year to this year, or just last year, I think the same outcomes are what you're going to get. I don't think you're going to have one that's going to be better than the other. I'm just not impressed. I was impressed with Gardner Minshew in college. I'm not that impressed with him this year in NFL.
Aiden O'Connell threw for 11 games, 2,200 yards, 12 touchdowns, 7 picks. Could have played worse, to be honest, but yeah. Give me the Steelers. They need to win bad. I need Justin Fields to play confident again. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Moving on down, Lions, Cowboys. This is at the Cowboys.
Yep. 2-game losing streak at home, getting spanked. Oh, they
Yeah.
made it close.
I don't know. I got a feeling that this game is going to be a good game.
I do too.
I don't. I don't see golf going perfect again.
You know, he might.
No, I just don't see it.
Yeah, I don't think it goes perfect, but I think he has
Yeah.
another good game.
Give me the Cowboys.
Wow, you think they snapped their 3-game losing streak?
Yeah, I do. You mean 2 game?
I'm going back to last playoffs.
Oh,
At home, by the way. I know Cowboys
yeah,
won their last 2 games, but
yeah, yeah. Give me the Cowboys. But like I said, I think this game is going to be close. I do like
it's
how
a
the
tough
Lions
one
are
for me to
playing.
pick. I could see either team winning. It's a coin flip game. Lions offense has been on fire last couple weeks with Dallas. Micah Parsons, Marcus Lawrence are out. Well, I don't know if they're out, but they've been banged up. Who's sure out? Give me the Lions.
You know, the more and more that I look at these picks, either one of us is going to do really good, and the other one's
I
going to
know.
do really bad.
You picked the same team 3 times.
I know.
And I did really bad last week, and I might do really bad again this week. But I promised the fans winning record. So hopefully you have the bad week this week.
We'll see. Falcons, Panthers. I mean, I'm going Falcons.
I'm going Falcons too, even though I hate to see it.
I mean, they're playing some good ball right now, and the Panthers, they had like, what, a couple good games, and then
They're back down to earth.
yeah. Bengals, Giants.
Bengals won't have any hope of making it to the playoffs. They got to win this game, and I think they do.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Giants are on a little high right now with the win last week, but I do think that the Bengals come back, play cleaner, and this game does not go into overtime, and they win. Then Monday Night Football, the Bills and the Jets. The Jets with the new interim coach making moves, from what you told me. I did not see that.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. What are your thoughts on this game?
I like. I'd love to see the Bills respond um, and play better. However, I think their lack of a wide receiver one is hurting them. And Shakir being out, I don't know if he's playing this week. Their defense has been suspect. I know the Jets have been struggling. But hey, I feel like there's just a trend I've been going with. And change is good for the better sometimes and gives you enough energy to win one game. And I don't think the Jets are going to make the playoffs, but I think this head coaching change, firing Salah, team feels like they're in win now mode. See them coming out playing inspired and good football for the interim. I've heard great things about him. And the fact that his second day on the job, he's like, hey, we need to change it up on offense and promote a new signal caller. He's not afraid to make tough decisions. I'm going to make the tough decision and pick them to win on Monday night.
You got the Jets. I got the Bills. I think all of this extra stuff that's going on with the curveball at the beginning of the week with them firing the head coach and then putting in a new offensive play caller. I mean, I feel like they can do it. I wouldn't be shocked if they do win because I know that Aaron Rodgers is good. He can kind of adapt to anything. But um, yeah, I think the Bills kind of bounce back from last week's loss and come back and walk into the Jets and get a win. But
All right,
those are our picks.
I'm calling it right now. Clip it. I'm going 9-5 this week. You heard me say it first. Me and Aiden picked 5 games of the same. So those are 5 wins. And the ones we picked different, I think where I'm gonna go 4-5. So I think overall I'm gonna go 9-5 this week. Do you feel confident in your picks, Aiden? Let's go ahead and see what you got. What record you think you're gonna do?
I'm going undefeated. I'm not losing this week. I'm just kidding.
Chat,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
roast this man right now in the comment section.
Let's see. I think I win at night. You said we picked 5 of the same?
Yeah.
You think we win all 5 of those?
I mean, I picked him. Only one I can see us losing. It's the Steelers.
I'd say I go 8-6.
We got a humble man over here.
I think I go 8-6. But we'll see. Go ahead and let us know what your picks are this weekend for NFL. But now it is time to get into one of our. I think this is probably one of our more fun segments that we've kind of developed. Let's go into the underdogs. Didn't go whenever I clicked.
Ooh, I have a new idea we can chat about offline. That way we can call our picks.
Okay.
But it just came to me.
All right. Let's see. I will go first this week. Let me look at what we're sitting at right now. So we are tied right now for underdogs.
So it's a big week. Could be a tipping point, pendulum swing for either side. Who's going to take
Both
advantage?
11-23, which is not a really good record, but
Hey, they're underdog picks. We're already
correct.
off to a disadvantage.
Right.
If we did like face off spreads and stuff, we'd have a positive record easily.
Right.
But we're doing outright money lines. So, and one of them's outlandish. So,
Yeah. That's our times 2 pick.
yeah.
All right. First underdog for me. I was between a couple of all of these, but I'm gonna go with the safe route with my first one, or what I think is safe. Go ahead and give me Cal to beat Pitt and
Really.
make Pitt not undefeated anymore.
You picking Cal over Pitt?
Yes.
That's a good pick. I was thinking about that one.
I just think that the Cal's defense is going to be too much, um, and I just don't see. Pitt had a close game with Cincy. I think they've had a couple close games, and I just think if it's a close game with Cal, the way that Cal brought Miami within one, and they barely lost that game, I just I don't think Pitt can do it. But hopefully they can prove me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Now this next team, every time I try to give them the flowers, it's kind of like the Broncos. It's kind of crazy because they're in the same state.
Whoa.
Colorado. I'm picking Colorado this week to upset K-State.
That's a good pick. They're 2 for 2 on picks right now. I like your picks.
Both of those, well, K-State has not shown that they can go on the road and win. You thought I was crazy whenever I picked BYU to beat them. BYU smacked them. Is that K-State's just a weird team. They're two different teams on away and home. They play a lot better at home than they do away. But that's my second pick. My third pick is Virginia over Louisville.
Wow, you think Louisville goes on a 3-game losing streak?
I do. Now, see, I've been between a couple games. I've been trying to stay away from the ranked games because I just don't know how I feel about most of them. There's some that I feel good about and some that I don't. And I can share that after you make your picks. But this next one, I don't know if I should use it for my ×2 pick or just a regular pick. Between 3 games, and I gotta knock it down to 2. I'm gonna go USC at home. Beat
Wow.
Penn State.
I am glad you picked that one.
And then my ×2 pick, I'm gonna pick just because I'm a fan. It's gonna be tough. Don't know if we can pull it out. But give me the Florida Gators against Tennessee at home.
At
I
Neyland Stadium, you mean?
I mean, yeah. I meant Tennessee's at home. It's a big night. Tennessee is home. It's a checkered theme game. But I saw the stat. In the last 20 meetings, Florida has won 17 and only lost 3. But I'm hoping that we put our defense all together and our offense is just rocking. I can dive into this game later, but that's my ×2 pick. I was between another game.
15-point dogs?
15-point dogs. That's what made me pick it.
Wait, would that be your biggest pick? Or
No.
was the other one? What was your
My
biggest?
other one was. Yeah, I think so.
Who was that again?
I'm looking. I'm looking for it. Illinois over Penn State. I think
No,
there
I'm
was
talking about the one
19.
that you got right. Or you haven't got one right yet.
Times two
I've
pick?
gotten
No.
two. Oh, my fault. My bad. I forget. Man.
Those are my underdogs. I got Cal, Colorado, Virginia, USC, and gimme them Gators.
Well, if you want me to be honest with you, I think you're going to go 2-4 this week.
That's fine.
I think Colorado will beat K State, and I think USC beats Penn State. I might not pick them for my top 25 pick. Let's think about that. But I can see those two happening. That's also the LSU fan of me needing USC to beat some teams so they can be ranked. That'd be nice. So our loss doesn't look that bad, even though we shouldn't have lost. But if Florida beat Tennessee, even though I know you're 17-3 the last 20 years, I'd be impressed.
Oh, I would too.
I'd be impressed.
But I wouldn't be a fan if I didn't try to say that we're gonna win.
You know, I respect the grind and the hustle. I really do. On to my picks, just to keep it in line with what Aiden's thing was. Give me my Tigers over Ole Miss.
To start out,
Just to start out, plain and simple. I'll get into more of that later. The fact that we're dogs at home at night in Tiger Stadium. At the beginning of the season, I'd get it. But after seeing these teams play the last couple of weeks, I mean, we had South Alabama. They had two solid teams. They played different results. It's interesting to me. I think Brian Kelly uses that as fire fuel. I don't think you're ready for some of my picks, Aiden.
hit me.
Another solid pick, I think. Riding their high of last week, traveling across country. Give me Washington over Iowa. I know teams struggle on the road this year, more than usual. But I think Washington is a solid team, should be undefeated. Iowa's coming off an embarrassing loss, but I think if Washington scores more than 20 points, they win this game. So I think they will. I was tempted by Arizona, BYU, but Arizona is too inconsistent, while BYU is. I think Arizona's talented enough to win that game. And I think Arizona State is also talented enough and coached enough to beat Utah. But I think those two teams will prevail, BYU and Utah.
I was thinking about that Arizona game.
Yeah. One team that's not getting enough love, though, my third pick. Surprisingly underdog. No, never mind. I read that wrong. I think with how they played, let me check their schedule. The 2 wins they got previously, now they're at home. Morgantown's going to be riled up. Iowa State, I don't think they're for real. But I'm going to be honest. Sure, they beat Iowa by 1 point. They blew out Baylor. Baylor's a sus football team. I think Morgantown might be too much. And I think Iowa State finally gets tested. It's going to be a close game. Give me the Mountaineers. Last time I picked the Mountaineers, they let me down. Then I picked against them, and they broke my heart. The third time's a charm.
I was gonna pick that game too.
Yeah, I was tempted to pick Purdue over Illinois just because we're going to that game. It'd be fun, but there's no shot Purdue wins that. And if they do, and I'm at the game, I'm fighting some Illinois fans. Let's just say that. And we're about to get wild. Both of these picks are worthy enough for a times two pick. I'll just say that. One of them shouldn't be. But I thought this line is crazy. And I'm going to go against my logic from last week, talking about coming off an emotional win, coming out flat. But I think this team they're playing doesn't have the offensive firepower to punish them. They do have a great defense, though. But give me Vanderbilt over Kentucky.
That whenever I said though, I had three of them. It was Vandy, Kentucky, and then USC, and then Florida. Those were my three that I was in between.
And, good enough to be a times two pick. 13.5 point dogs. Both teams have been surprising teams in SEC this year. Be an interesting game. See how Vanderbilt responds to success. I think going to be pivotal, but I think they have the culture and coaching staff to respond well and win this game on the road. It's going to be a dogfight, though. It's going to be SEC football at its finest. Gritty teams facing off. You love to see it. I never thought I'd utter those words. I'd love to see Vanderbilt, Kentucky, but this is the era we're in. And my times two pick, guys. Can we make it 2 weeks in a row? Can we do it? Both these, I think this pick might be crazier than last week's. Just in terms of how the teams have played, their records. But similar to why Aiden picked his, I'm looking at storied rivalries right here. I'm looking at what have you done for me lately? And the team that's dogs have been dominating this head-to-head rivalry these last 10 matchups. I think y'all know who I'm about to pick. Give me Boomer Sooner to shake up the college football playoff landscape, and all of sports landscape. We see back-to-back weeks the number one ranked team gets upset. If you don't know what I'm talking about still, give me Oklahoma over Texas. Now, I know what you're thinking. Tavies. Texas has looked great this year. They've been tested. They've gone to the big house and dominated. Arch Manning, future of football. Quinn Ewers has that dog in him. This is a different Texas team. What makes you think this Texas team's going to lose to this shaken up, led astray, run amok Oklahoma Sooners team? I'm great. You asked me that. Wish I could pull up real quick. Texas versus Oklahoma history. Let's look this up. This is one of the biggest rivalries.
Go ahead and share your screen.
Oh, you want me to share my screen too? Man, this has been one of the biggest rivalries in college football. It's up there with Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, Auburn, right? Since 2000, Texas is 8-16. Last year, this Texas team went to the college football playoff and almost made it to the national championship game. They lost to two teams. They lost to the semifinals, which they shouldn't have. They would have given a better game to Michigan than Washington did, but we don't got to talk about that. Their other loss was to these upstart Sooners. What? Crazy.
So you're saying they do it again?
Yeah, it's just interesting how, let's see, they spanked them 2 years ago, 49-0. That's appalling. I forgot that happened. Then they lose. They lose in 4 overtimes. They lose. A part of this Texas culture is losing to Oklahoma every year, besides 2022. And you might be telling me Tavius, but this is a different team. You don't think they're gonna be motivated to go out there and win? They're gonna be motivated. But sometimes that doesn't matter. I'm sure Tennessee was motivated, losing 16 times to Florida since the last 20 matchups. But they went out there and lost last year, made it 17. Okay, motivation doesn't work all the time, and I think sometimes you need to get in your head. And I think even though Oklahoma hasn't played well, they know they're still better than Texas. And I know Oklahoma's been having troubles with quarterback lately, and they need more consistent play out of him or out of them, all of them, whoever they got. But their defense has been really good. What they held Tennessee to 22 points.
Hmm.
I know Tennessee got held to 14 by Arkansas, but Arkansas also has a really good defense. I think this defense is going to give Quinn Ewers problems. First game back from injury, he's going to have to shake off rust. And it's going to be a dog fight. And just with the recent history, give me Oklahoma. And I wouldn't be surprised if I was completely wrong and they get spanked. I could see that happening, or I could see Oklahoma pulling it out, skin of their teeth. Give me the Sooners.
Usually this game is pretty good, regardless of how teams look. I mean, as you mentioned it last year, Tennessee or Texas lost to them, and then ended up going to the college football playoffs. So,
Of the last, let's just go back to 10 matchups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. 24-17, one possession. 45-40, one possession. 29-24, one possession. 48-45, one possession. 39-27, two possessions, but that's a close game. 34-27, 53-45, 55-48, 49-0, not close. 34-30. These have all been one possession. Two of the last 10 haven't been one possession games.
hmm,
So you have to expect one possession game.
yeah, I don't know. Looks pretty good. All right, those are all of our underdogs. We will give you a refresher. I got Cal, Colorado, Virginia, USC, and Florida. You have LSU, Washington, West Virginia, Vandy, and Oklahoma. Go ahead and let us know what your underdog picks are. Got to pick 5 of them, and your last pick has to be a ×2 pick. The qualifying ×2 is usually an outlandish pick or anything that's like over 12.5. Would you say it around
Uh,
anything 10, 10.5?
I'd say 9 plus.
Okay. 9
Anything over
plus is
two
good.
possessions. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. So, go ahead and let us know. But we are going to get right into our top 25 picks,
I know
starting
Evan
with
read it, but
Utah and Arizona State.
as I said in my ×2 pick discussion, I was leaning Arizona State in this one, but I think after Utah's disappointing loss last week, I think Arizona State gives them all they have. Utah escapes.
Yep,
Give me
I
the
agree.
Utes.
I agree. I think they bounced back from last week, and I mean Arizona State's a good team. It's at home too, but I think Utah is. I don't. Is Cam Rising coming back for this game? I know he's been out for a while,
Who
but
knows at this point?
if he does come back, no questions that they're winning. If he isn't, I do think that they learned from what they had last week and they pull out the win. South Carolina versus Bama. Who are you thinking?
Alabama puts it on them.
Yep.
Puts it on them good. South Carolina, they give it up. They played well to start the year. I mean, they gave it their all. But this is the start of the downfall to their season. they don't have enough consistent quarterback play to make them a team to reckon with. And I think Alabama has to respond in a blowout fashion. That's the standard they set for themselves.
Yep, I agree. I think they really had to look themselves in the mirror on the defensive side and up front. Um, they let something historical happen last weekend, and I think that left a really bad taste in their mouth. And I think they're going to come back and destroy South Carolina at home. So, but shockingly, I would not be shocked if South Carolina makes this a game and has some confidence in them, thinking that, well, if Vandy can do it, we can do it too. But I don't see that. But I see Bama walking in and take care of business. Next, Clemson and Wake Forest. Give me Clemson.
Yeah, I know. Clemson covers.
Clemson, ever since that they played Georgia, has been on a tear. They've looked like a really good football team, and I'm excited to see their matchup against Miami.
Missouri, UMass. I was very tempted to go UMass here just for kicks and giggles, but Missouri, they got to respond even though they're playing at UMass.
Yeah.
I feel like they have to cover here just to get some respect back. So
Yeah.
give me the Tigers in this one.
Yep, I agree. I mean, last week. I mean, they were supposed to take care of A&M, but A&M said not in our house. So, and this is another game that they need to turn around and win big. If not, there's going to be a lot of questions over in Mizzou. But yeah, give me Missouri. I didn't miss any in between there, did I? I don't think there's any other ones. Yep, no. All
I
right.
mean, who you got? Washington, Iowa.
They're not ranked.
Well, I know, but it's a game of note. But we can
We'll
go
come
back.
back. We'll come back. We'll
Okay.
come back.
All right, mister.
Texas, Oklahoma. This is your ×2 pick. You got Oklahoma. This one, I've definitely been on the fence. Because as we talked, it doesn't matter what the record is. Either one of them can win. But I'm going to go Texas. I think this is a very close game, like they normally are. But I think Texas pulls it out at the end. Part of me does want to go Oklahoma, but with their wishy-washy of quarterbacks and inconsistent play of quarterbacks, if they had a solid quarterback, I would pick Oklahoma. But I don't know. Oklahoma's been very up and down, and they have that freshman that's coming in. I think he's starting right now. First time there. Gonna be a little nervous. Thought that the Oklahoma Tennessee game was big. He looked nervous then. There's gonna be a lot more people there. And there's gonna be a lot more eyes than that game. So give me Texas.
Also, the fact that tickets are as low as $300 is insane.
Oh yeah. So also wanted to point this out because I saw this earlier today, but go ahead and keep an eye on who's ranked or what the rankings are for that game. We have number 1 against who? Number 18?
Yeah.
Okay. Just keep that in mind.
Why?
Next,
I'm confused.
Penn State versus USC. I have USC as my underdog. Who do you got?
I would love it if USC won. But I think overall Penn State's a better team. I don't think. I think they cover. USC has a lot of holes, and they're being exploited a Big Ten play, and I think it continues.
So you got Penn State.
Yep.
All right.
Notre Dame beats
Stanford.
Stanford.
Huh?
Notre Dame beats Stanford. Wouldn't be surprised if Stanford covered though.
I have Notre Dame as well. Cal. Pitt. I already have Cal.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from Pitt. I doubted them this year so far, but managed to win. And I think even Cal's gonna make it a good game, but give me Pitt.
All right.
And the game we will be at, Purdue at
Purdue
Illinois.
and Illinois.
Man, Purdue's getting spanked. 66-7, 38-21, 28-10, 52-6. It's got to continue.
Yeah. Especially if we're going to be there. This is going to be tough for us, though. Like I mentioned before, I was unaware that this game was at 2:30 Central Time, 3:30 Eastern Time. I might have to charge my portable charger because I'm going to want to watch that Texas-Oklahoma game as well. But should be a good time. We'll be down there. We're both going to be leaving where we are Friday night to get close to the area.
Oh, and then Penn
Saturday
State
morning.
USC. That's going on at the same time. You don't have YouTube TV, do you?
Mm.
I do.
Might have to get that login.
Maybe. BYU Arizona. I was tempted by this game, but I think with game day being there, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-mm.
No, not game day. Noon big college noon kickoff, whatever. Joel Klatt was talking about them being there. Not a big noon kickoff. Whatever. I know
Yeah,
Joel Klatt's calling this game. But BYU's been the most consistent team in the Big 12. Arizona is inconsistent. They show flashes. I think Arizona's receiver, McMillan, is going to give BYU's corners problems. He's 6'5", 6'6". Probably 6'4" to 6'5". BYU's corners are 5'11". There's going to be some jump balls in there. Got to be. I'm game planning for that. But overall, BYU's been a better team. I'll take them at home.
Yeah, I got BYU too. I think they are a great team at home. They've been playing very good ball. They've had some good tests along the road. I do think that the one wide receiver that you said he's good. I think that they're gonna have to adjust to him, but I don't see them winning. I think BYU studies the film from last week, and they come into this week prepared. So give me BYU. Mississippi State, Georgia. This one's pretty easy.
I mean,
for me at
Georgia's
least.
got to cover, right?
I think so. Florida, Tennessee.
You know, this is interesting. I'll go first before I let you do your little spiel. Looking back at this history, I'm tempted to pick Florida too. You go along with my Oklahoma pick. Even the year 22 when Tennessee was really good and explosive on offense with Hendon Hooker, they only won by 5. And Knoxville.
Mm-hmm.
You know, other previous time y'all won 31-19, 47-21. These blowouts are crazy. Man, you blew them out. 4 straight years. 31-19 is not a blowout, but I'll count it. It was on the road. The year y'all went to a C champ game, by the way, too. You know what? Call me crazy. Psych. Give me Tennessee. Y'all aren't doing that. I'd be happy for you though if y'all actually did.
It's
When
kind of
we're
crazy.
watching the game together, when we're eating or whatever, whenever we're doing at that point in time, maybe sharing drinks, I won't root against you
I
if y'all
almost
make a
put
good.
Florida for you, by the way.
I know.
I started writing down Florida. But yeah, I mean, if we do,
I gotta redeem myself in my college football power or top 25 record. It was
yeah,
awful.
yeah. Being a biased Florida fan, I think we win this game. Being a non-biased Florida fan and just being a football fan, I think Tennessee's. I mean, they're a different team at home. I'm gonna pick Florida. I'm gonna root for Florida. But realistically, yeah, I don't see us winning this game. Um, Tennessee's like I said, they're a different team at home than away. If it was at Florida, yeah, I'd pick Florida um, for sure and have better hopes because of what happened in Arkansas. But this is home game for them, checkered theme. I mean, they're gonna clean up what they did last week. I'm hoping that our defense shows up for the whole game, and I pray that the defensive coordinator doesn't throw some weird stuff or blitzes and everything. That's the most that I'm worried about. I'm worried about our defense and only our defense. Offense, we have Trey Wilson coming back, who gave them a fit last year as a freshman. We have Aiden Mines coming back, who had that crazy touchdown against Mississippi State that got called back. I mean, offensively, we're pretty. We're not fully reloaded, but we are. We're good enough to be dangerous on the offensive side. Defensive side, I'm worried. That's just really that's really it. If our defense was playing better football, I think we would be heading into this game with a little more confidence. I would have more confidence in us, but I hope that they show up. It's a prime time kickoff on ESPN, so I hope that they show up and they do what I think that they can do and hope that they can do. But I would not be shocked if Tennessee blows our socks off. So, but go Gators! Let's get this done.
Hey, you gotta admire dedication. I respect the hustle.
Ohio State, Oregon. This is where game day is going to be in Eugene, Oregon. Number 2 versus number 3. We are getting a top 4 matchup before the college football playoffs. What are you thinking? This is another one, right? Because whenever Bama and Georgia played, that was top 4, wasn't it? 2 and 4.
2-5, I thought,
Oh,
or 1-5.
yeah, it might. No, I think they were 2. Georgia, I think was 2 because Texas was 1. I think it
And
was
then
2 and
Bama
5. You're
jumped to
right.
1, and then
Yeah.
yeah. I've been going back and forth on this all day. Oregon's look shaky at times. Their run defenses look shaky from the beginning of the year. They're playing better overall, and it always worries me when like a top team hasn't been tested and they're going to play a top team.
hmm
I almost made this an underdog pick. I think at the end of the day, Oregon's shakiness and inconsistent play. But Ohio State's not tested, but they're the most talented roster. We're going to learn a lot about Ohio State this game. This is the toughest game to pick all weekend. Give me the Buckeyes.
Yep. I mean, you hit it right on the head. This has been. I mean, I've been going back and forth about this game all day, all week. It's at Oregon too. If it was at Ohio State, I think I would have picked them faster. I am going to go Ohio State. I think that their defense is going to give Oregon some trouble, but I do think that Oregon is going to come out strong and it's going to shock Ohio State. And I think Ohio State recovers and comes back with the dub. Um, this is an exciting game to watch. I'm definitely going to be flipping from the Florida Tennessee game to the LSU Ole Miss game to this game. Um, well, actually, I won't have to flip for the LSU game, but the Ohio State Oregon game. Um, but yeah, give me Ohio State. All right, Ole Miss LSU. I'll go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. I got Ole Miss.
Dude, how much have you picked against us this year? Holy.
Well, I would pick you guys if your defense was more consistent. I think your offense doesn't have a problem. I think it's your defense. If your defense has, I don't think that they can play the way that Kentucky played, and that's what worries me. I told you whenever you guys are playing, and you guys are a second half team. I think Ole Miss can separate a gap in the first half to make it hard on you guys to come back. So yeah, I'm giving Ole Miss. Wouldn't be shocked if you guys make it close and come out with the win. But I do think that Ole Miss wins.
You know, I think it's interesting how you continuously hate on us. I'm kidding. But Caden Durham's going to play. I told you he dislocated his toes 2 weeks ago. I think Ohio State Oregon might have been the hardest game to pick. This is a very close second. I think this is going to be the best game of the weekend. Not because it's going to be a shootout per se. I think a lot of points are going to be scored. I think you go over on the points. I know Ole Miss's defense has been playing really well. They have a really good D line. This game's going to be decided between Ole Miss's D line versus LSU's O line. And I think the strength of both sets of the team, who's going to make more plays and on that line. Is LSU going to be able to establish a run game to help set up the pass game? Or is Ole Miss's D line just going to be too disruptive on both sets and LSU can't find a rhythm offensively? And that's going to be the biggest question. I think LSU's defense is going to play a lot better than what people think they will. And Ole Miss is going to put up 40 plus. I think this is going to be a 35-31 game. LSU wins. But, yeah. I'm excited to see. Ole Miss needs this win. LSU needs this win. It's going to come down to discipline and execution. And I like the fact that LSU has had a bye week to prep. I think the last two games Ole Miss has played, the coaching staff could put together a game plan against that. Ole Miss might not have their best receiver, Trey Harris. We'll see if he plays. It's going to be huge. If he does play, it'll torch our cornerbacks. If he doesn't, we got a shot. Yeah, but give me my Tigers, I think if LSU was favored here, I'd tell you to take Ole Miss's dogs on the road. But at night, I'm pretty sure LSU's on a 12 or 13 game win streak at night. So The last few years, this game has been exciting. So
Yeah,
I think it continues that trend.
yeah. I mean, I agree. That game is pretty exciting. That and then you get the Bam LSU game always is exciting. But yeah. So next is Iowa State and Virginia, West Virginia. You have West Virginia. Give me Iowa State. I do think that you are right with Morgantown being poppin', but I don't know. I think Iowa State walks in there and gets a dub. Um, Now, going back earlier, K State, Colorado. Do you remember what Oklahoma was ranked?
18,
Huh. You see what K State's ranked?
18.
Crazy. You know what Notre Dame was ranked? 11. You know who Iowa State's ranked? 11.
11.
When did this happen? This is something new to me.
It's a point system. They have the same amount of points.
Yeah, but I was looking at the games earlier and was like, am I seeing double here? And yes, I
Mm-hmm.
am. Shocked. Didn't know that. But it's kind of crazy. Don't think I like it,
Me neither.
but I think you should definitely say one team's better than the other. If you can't decide, then let some random dude on the street to say and then just let it be that way. It's 1 point. It's one position. You have Penn State that is ranked 4, and you have Georgia that's 5. I disagree with that. Just make them both 4 if you're going to do that. But sorry
One of
for the
them is
rant.
undefeated though. So
I don't care. Georgia's a better football team. But anyways, going on. K State versus Colorado. I got Colorado. Who do you got?
uh, I'd love to join you. I really would, but I will not. I
K State.
dang. I really want to pick Colorado. They've been playing so much better. It's a close game. But give me Avery Johnson's scrambling ability to be the difference in this. I'll go K State. They redeemed themselves on the road.
All right, and then the last top 25 pick is Boise State, Hawaii. I got Boise State. Don't really have
And the real question you should ask is not who's going to win, but is Gentry going to get over 200 yards before they fill him out?
It's a good question. I say he does get 200 yards.
I'll go to why not? Increase his Heisman stock.
All right, then some games of interest. Um, let's see here.
Vanderbilt, Kentucky, who you got?
See, I want to go Vandy, but since you did, I'll go opposite and I'll go Kentucky.
And you know what?
No.
I'm gonna do opposite against you. You went Virginia. I'm going Louisville.
All right.
Georgia Tech, North Carolina. I'd go G Tech.
Yeah,
Washington,
I agree.
Iowa. Who you got?
Washington, Iowa.
Yeah.
Um, Give me Iowa.
That's all I gotta say.
No other game.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think that's my our Army's 26.5 point favorites.
I'm in Navy. They've been killing it.
What about Northwestern and my Maryland?
Maryland.
I was hoping you were gonna go Northwestern.
I would have picked that as my dog pick, but I don't trust Northwestern, so.
Yeah, me neither. All right, Maryland. Those are our college football picks. It's a great weekend.
Yep.
Got a whole slate starting off. I mean, we gotta get like tomorrow night, but not the good games.
Yeah.
Got the Utah Arizona State game to kind of kick us off. That game will kind of set the tone for this weekend. Got a lot of football games to watch, and we're gonna be at one of them, watching others, having a good old time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, go ahead and let us know who you guys got. Again, I know I said it before, but your underdog picks, top 25 picks, little games of interest that you think. So maybe some unlikely wins that we didn't go over through some games if they were FCS or whatever. Go ahead and let us know. But I don't know, you might catch us with a live on Saturday from the tailgate. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, those are our picks, and I want to shout out the Blue Jays. Elmhurst Blue Jays are on a 2-game winning streak heading into this week. Um, who they got this week?
Augie?
Augie? I think so. Could be 3-game winning streak. Could be. But we'll see. We'll keep you updated on that. But yeah, that's another episode of the A&T podcast. I'm Aiden. And enjoy this weekend of great football. And we will catch you on Tuesday for the results.